COVID-19 vaccines. In 2022, a study showed that among various types of nanomaterials, GO and carbon nanotubes, cylindrically shaped nanostructures made by sheets of graphene rolled up to form hollow tubes are among the possible adjuvants for COVID-19 vaccines. 4. The presence of graphene in COVID-19 vaccines is totally refuted by the European Medicines Agency EMA. 42. However, not only EMA is tainted 37, but also the presence of graphene, micro, and nanostructures as well as undeclared metal-containing components have been repeatedly detected in COVID-19 vaccines. Some of these results, discovered by several respected scientists in their fields, have not been published in peer-reviewed journals Figure 3, 9, 24, 25, while others are available in the scientific literature. 71. 72, 137, GEOs, reduced GEOs, RGOs, and the related derivatives possess self-assembly capabilities enabling the construction of advanced graphene-based materials or functional systems. 124. Which could partly explain the detection of certain nanostructures. By culture of COVID-19 vaccine samples, mainly Pfizer and Moderna, a study showed, using a stereo microscope, the self-assembly of artificial structures of various shapes, animated worm-like entities, discs, chains, spirals, tubes, right-angle structures containing other artificial entities within them, etc., reacting, among other factors, to several frequencies of electromagnetic fields. The authors of this study assumed that some form of nanotechnology, without specifying the exact nature of its components, was intentionally added to COVID-19 vaccines, whose purpose is to self-assemble into pre-programmed structures under the effect of different energy sources. 82. Figure 3. Some examples of COVID-19 vaccines analysis photographs. A. 1H27Foot56, B. 1H31C, 1H3117, undeclared components of the COVID-19 vaccines. 9. D and E microscopic objects and structures found in Pfizer vaccines by Dr. Campra. 24. Numerous other photographs of COVID-19 vaccine analyses showing microstructures, objects, and graphene have been taken by Dr. Campra. 25. In addition, analyses of blood samples from subjects after injections of COVID-19 vaccines showed the presence of particles which, according to the authors of these publications, would correspond to GO 33, 72, 83. This presence of graphene would contribute to the side effects associated with COVID-19 vaccines. 6. Suitable for very high frequencies. Graphene can be used to build nanoantennas and transceivers. 29. Graphene nanomaterials, e.g., GO and RGO, are particularly well suited to interconnecting biomaterials with RF microwaves. 80. Graphene is widely used for its electrical properties and high conductivity. 32, 60. In addition, GO has a high potential for transmitting signals at gigahertz ranges 0.5 to 40 gigahertz, 73. And millimeter frequencies seem perfectly adapted to graphene micro-antennas. 76. A study showed that using a system of GO nanoparticles reacting to the electric field, a cell phone can control the rate of drug release remotely for on-demand administration. 121. Representing an example of a partnership between the pharmaceutical and telecommunications industries. Moreover, a graphene monolayer can multiply frequencies from gigahertz to thertz, generating electronic signals in the thertz range with very high efficiency. 45, 62. Graphene will, therefore, be well suited to directional radiation in the thertz band for 6G communications. 2. Intrabody nanorobots. The literature confirms that graphene can be used as a base material for intrabody nanomachines, sensors, routers, antennas, etc., 67, 81, 92, 135. With the aim of wireless nanocommunications through Internet between the human body and objects, Internet of Nanothings. 1177. Carbon nanotubes are able to create hybrid systems with the natural neural system and affect specific cell behaviors. 46. Graphene can also be used to create a brain interface due to its perfect compatibility with the brain's neural system. 47. Opening the way to the exploitation and control of the brain. 50. The hydrogel allows these graphene nanomaterials to be accepted by the human body, thus representing the ideal interface in human-machine fusion. 138. To perform complex tasks, intrabody nanorobots need to collaborate and organize themselves within a nanonetwork that can be hybrid wired/wireless. Communication between intrabody nanonetworks can be electromagnetic or molecular, the absence or presence of a certain type of molecule to encode messages digitally. 135. In addition, they self-power by harvesting energy from their environment, blood vessels, and their energy is mainly used for the transmission and reception of wireless communication signals. 8. The efficient transmission of nanotechnology signals and data over the nanonetwork is managed by a routing system called Coordinate and Routing System for Nanonetworks, Corona. 123. The most suitable frequency band for these intrabody nanonetworks seems to be Thertz 381. The few studies concerning the biological effects of Thertz already show consequences such as modification of the properties of cell membranes, pore formation, modulation of cell viability, and proliferation. However, the authors point out that there is a lack of standardized experimental methods. 30. Therefore, as some scientists suggest, these micro and nanostructures observed in COVID-19 vaccines could be part of an intrabody network of wireless nanomachines. But the many conflicts of interest within the health authorities, e.g. EMA and WHO, inevitably lead to highly biased expert assessments and responses, which means that the public is disinformed by part of the scientific community, politicians, and the media. 37. In addition, if this graphene-based nanomachine technology has been injected through COVID-19 vaccines to react with the electromagnetic environment, its operation with the gigahertz band is not only current but also appears to be evolutionary and projected in time to be activated by the Thertz waves of the 6G network around the 2030s. Human-machine fusion. Cyborg. Scientific publications and military documents clearly show that the goal for the coming years is human-machine fusion. Medicine will first employ graphene brain implants. 21. Carbon nanomaterials can be connected to implantable brain-computer interfaces BCIs, 89. And graphene nanosensors appear suitable for operating non-invasive BCIs, 48. Via the vascular circulation, nanorobots, some carbon nanomaterials are being studied, could cross the BBB and attach themselves to the axons of neurons in the brain, which could then connect to the internet cloud through a BCI. 101. It should be noted that optimizing a BCI seems to require the intervention of artificial intelligence, AI, to study brain functions but also to identify and monitor the neurons that control behavior. 139. The huge volumes of data exchanged between the cloud and the human brain will require AI to manage these interactions too. 101. 6G network applications 2030 will enable wireless brain-computer interaction. 31. While 5G will enable wireless communication between simple physical objects, 6G, in which AI will play a key role, will bring networked communication of humans, processes, files, and objects, Internet of Everything, IoE, such as people-to-machine and people-to-people connections via the Internet. 1375. In 2023, a NATO document on the biological functioning of cognitive warfare shows that one of the most promising nanotechnology projects is the development of integrated synthetic DNA. Although the document does not specify the materials used, the synthetic organic DNA could allow the creation of human-machine interfaces and is often referred to as the 47th human chromosome. The paper explains that neural nanotechnology can be used to bring nano-sized robots closer to a neuron via the bloodstream and enable the human brain to be linked directly, i.e., not intercepted by our senses, to a computer using AI. The author specifies that this is a two-way street. Such an IA will, in turn, be linked to a human brain. 128. The Army uses neurotechnology to treat or improve soldiers. 58. Thus, advances in military neurotechnology, robotics, and AI will make the cyborg warrior cybernetic organism. A weaponized brain-computer network powered by AI and neurocognitive augmentation. 105. In 2019, a U.S. Army document co-authored by renowned neuroscientist James Giordano shows that human-machine fusion will appear before 2050 with the aim of improving functional and structural human capacities through the use of genetic engineering, synthetic biology, nanotechnology, AI, or any number of emerging technologies. 43. The four main objectives are ocular enhancements, restoration and programmed muscular control, auditory enhancement, and direct neural enhancement of the human brain for two-way data transfer. The assembly of nanoparticles in the brain, thus forming a BCI, could be positioned using directed magnetic fields. Although this report aims to present military cyborgs, the authors point out that not only will the civilian sector be in demand, but it is the medical sector that will familiarize the population with human-machine fusion and provide the military with a large proportion of the technological advances. In addition, the public will need to be educated about the benefits of becoming a cyborg. Cinema, media, literature, and governments must build messages to remove barriers to the adoption of these new technologies. 43. The benefits partly therapeutic, as it is also a question of increasing the capabilities of humans and other living beings, of designing hybrid systems between living beings and robotic systems have already begun in civil science. 54. Conclusion. Scientific literature shows that the use of modulated/pulsed/polarized microwave